Welcome to the Sisterhood of Sweat. It's Let It Rip Friday. And today I have special guests, my sisters in fitness, Kate McKay and Kelly Tyan, both who have podcasts. Kate McKay is Survive to Thrive, and Kelly Tyans is Addicted to the Climb. And this was such a great episode. So make sure to let us know and give us some feedback. Without further ado, we're going to jump on in.
Hi, I'm Linda Mitchell, 54-year-old elite obstacle racer, award-winning fitness competitor, gym owner, and author. Welcome to the Sisterhood of Sweat podcast, where we will approach the difficult topics of life, interview inspiring guests, and bring empowerment to all. This community is a place where we can be who we are instead of who others want us to be. Let's get started.
And now, a word from our sponsors, Essential Formulas.
Hi, this is Frankie Boyer, and I believe, I don't know about your lifestyle, but some days I need roller skates. My lifestyle is crazy busy, and I'm pulled in so many directions. It takes a toll on my health. That's why I am proactive. I don't go a day without my Dr. O'Hara's probiotics. It's just that important to me. As the expression goes, the road to good health is paved with good intestines. Dr. O'Hara's is not just a probiotic supplement, it's a complete flora balancing system, helping to bring your body back into balance naturally. Doctor recommended, made with organic ingredients, dairy and gluten-free, and needs no refrigeration. Perfect for travel. I believe that Dr. O'Hara's probiotics are the best probiotics on the market today. To learn more about Dr. O'Hara's probiotics, visit essentialformulas.com. Dr. O'Hara's probiotics are available at Vitamin Shop, Whole Foods, Sprouts, and other fine health food stores nationwide.
Listen,
Hello.
I'm telling you, technology and me are like oil and water. We don't mix that well. I have a very hard time. And my kids make fun of me because they're like, Mom, don't think the computer is going to blow up if you touch a button to just try it. And I'm like, but I'm afraid. I don't know what to do.
I'm sure people out there can relate to that. And it's really important to figure out your zones of, genius, excellence, and what we're not so good at.
Right.
And I was asking my husband the other day, what am I incompetent at? And because I'm trying to figure out with my, business, what do I outsource and what do I keep doing? And he's like, neuro brain surgery.
That's pretty brave that you asked him.
Yeah. And he was kind. And I'm like, yeah, I probably shouldn't be doing brain surgery on anyone, nor should I be out.
Oh, there's my husband. Come here. Come say hi. Okay, Tony just walked in the house. You might as well say hi.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
How are you?
Just telling you.
Good. We're just getting rolling.
You're on live.
Oh, I'm so used to this. Very nice seeing you.
Okay, so let's dive in because I know there's so many questions. And listen, if people do have questions, I would love them to put it in the chat. Or Linda, if you have your Facebook open, maybe they're asking.
I'm gonna look in there. Yeah.
Okay, because basically what we wanted to do was just share some tips together. Linda and I we can give you a 1-minute intro to both of us. We've both been working with women for many, many years. And for me, I'll tell you a little bit about me. I've been working and coaching women for since 2008 in leading my own boot camps, fitness classes, and then certified as a nutritionist, health coach, and then competitions. That's where I met Linda. So we really dialed in to how our bodies work because we jumped into shows and did it ourselves. Just diet down, learned more about nutrition. I led some competition teams in that area in my life. And nowadays I have my book out, Addicted to the Climb. That's more of my brands today, is helping people stay addicted to the climb in faith and in fitness and in overall health and mindset, because life is always such a climb and a struggle. And if we don't stay climbing, we fall backwards. And that's what happens a lot. And I've fallen backwards. And I'm relating this more to my faith and my fitness personally, because I've had to constantly continue every single day to grow my faith, because that's the path that I'm on, and continue growing my fitness because I enjoy it. And even though I've fallen off many times, I get myself back on because I know how I want to feel as I age. And my birthday is coming up on Monday. And it's like, oh my God, I'm climbing. And it's scary, but it's all good. I'm excited because I feel good. And that's what it all comes down to. But that's why we want to share some tips with you women that are over 40, over 50, that are struggling right now in their weight. Maybe you're at a standstill. Maybe your hormones are out of whack. Maybe you're in menopause, perimenopause, all that stuff. So Linda, take it away.
So I was going right along with all of that. I love that introduction, Kelly. And I love your background and everything you're about. We're in such alignment, especially with the whole mindset, the faith, fitness, all of that combined. I just really think that it's working on yourself from the inside out. And when you work on yourself on the inside, it translates to the outside. And it isn't just what I put in my mouth, but it's what I put in my mind, my heart, and my soul. And what are you filling yourself up with today? Because a lot of the times when we are reaching for a snack or something we call a forbidden fruit, I guess, we are trying to fill ourselves up with something. And if we could look at our life and say, what am I trying to fill myself up with? And what do I need? And listen to our bodies and tune into our hearts. And are you doing something that you hate, that you dread? Because it's going to come out in some way. And realizing that everything is not just about me eating my greens and doing cardio forever and being a cardio bunny. It is about, what are you filling your mind with? What do you need today? Because I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, if you are out of control on your diet, your life isn't it. It isn't organized. It isn't in control. It's cluttered. It needs some focus. You need to clear things off your plate so you can deal with some of these things that are weighing you down. And when something's weighing you down, I hate to say it, but there is such a correlation to your weight. What is weighing you down today? And what do you need to shed? What limited beliefs are you holding that you need to let go of? What are you telling yourself that you can't do? Or, I'm so busy. I can't food prep. I can't get my workouts in. So therefore I can't eat right. And you're saying a lot of can'ts to yourself, or what maybe you do need to clear stuff off your plate. So focus on how you can. Focus on how can I do this? And when I have a bunch of clients, it's pretty common. People will see me running on the treadmill after that client, popping in some weights, because I may not be able to get it all done in one shot, but I'm going to get it done. So it doesn't have to be a solid hour. Maybe you could do 9 blocks throughout your day.
I love that. That's good. And I just spoke about that the other day with somebody else on another podcast, because that is so true. I think as women, busy women that are juggling homes and work, I mean, I'm fortunate because I'm here at home, working from home, talking to my clients on the phone mostly, but I know you guys are running out the door and you're stressed about food prep because you don't have time. But I want to give you guys some homework right away from the get-go right now, because Linda just said so many great things. And your homework right now for this week or today, how about just today, when you hear this message from us and it's over, I want you to write down just three can statements. I can whatever. I can drink more water today. How's that? any three things that you can do and commit to those, because I think writing something down, first of all, holds you accountable, because accountability we need, but you're going to hold yourself accountable, and just write those 3 canned statements. I love it. I'm going to do it when we hang up. I am going to do it.
And I do love that. I love that you gave the homework of writing what you can do.
Because you're right. We say we can't.
Always.
Right. Because we always say we can't do things.
Focus on the can.
Right.
Because I would have never come back from having my hamstring ripped from the bone and being in a wheelchair and being, unable to exercise and many, a few other injuries that were horrific. I would have never, ever, if I would have focused on what I couldn't do, I would not be doing all the things right now that I'm doing and bouncing back. And so in your life, whatever it is that you need to let go of and say, how can I do this?
Exactly.
The 3 cans. I love that so much.
Me too. All right, let's jump into women over 40, over 45, whatever, and how our weight starts to fluctuate and how hormones kind of come into play. Because I think that's the niche more that I'm in, and you are too, because Linda, I'm going to say I'm in my late 40s. I told you it's my birthday on Monday, but you're going to have to guess. And I know Linda's in her 50s. So we both know what it's like to, feel certain things, go through hormonal changes. But I want, maybe we can give a couple of tips, because I know the biggest thing that I realize is stress in your body, in your mind, plays the biggest role out of everything. Like literally, you guys. And I know we all have stress. I'm not saying, we all stress in some ways day to day. But if you can just think about your life in the stress, whether it's coming from your relationship, your job, your stress about the next thing you should be doing, your children, it takes a toll on your health in more ways than you can ever imagine. And when and when you're very stressed, and your cortisol level spikes, and guess what's going to happen, ladies? Once your cortisol spikes and stays high, you're going to store fat, belly fat, especially. And that's just what happens, because there's like a science behind it. And I don't have all the science.
I'll give you some.
Okay. Why don't you talk about that?
I'll give you some.
Because then I want to share a few things, then we can just share things to de-stress and talk about how we can de-stress. Because some people are like, oh God, I have so much stress. You girls don't understand. But yes, we do. We're mothers, we're business owners, we're wives, we're caretakers of our parents, whatever. We have all the same things that everybody else has. But there's a way to manage that stress so your cortisol can come down. You'll feel better, but let's talk about that first. So
if you've noticed a muffin top or a belly where there never was one before, or belly fat, or just kind of around your midsection, we're going to give you so many tips today to just blast that away. And there is help. There is so much help. But first of all, Kelly's right. It is the stress. And as your body is getting like less and less, as you get older and older, your hormones are diminishing unless you're replenishing them with some kind of a synthetic or bioidentical hormone. But still, your estrogen is going, and that used to help you deal with stress. Now, when your body wants to call on the estrogen, there isn't hardly any, or there's none. And so then your hormones, cortisol kicks in, because there's plenty of that to go around. And so that is why, because you're getting less sleep in menopause or even perimenopause. So when you're not getting sleep, 100%, like your cortisol is going to spike like by 30% when you're not getting sleep. So here it becomes this vicious cycle of the no sleep, the stress, the no estrogen, and all of it. And then you get the belly fat, and then you start trying to do more because you're like, oh, I got to get this off. And then your cortisol raises more because you're over exercising.
And sorry, something just came up on my computer. It went away now. So this is a vicious cycle. So you gotta, number one, you gotta really focus on how can I lessen my stress and how can I lower my cortisol? So the first thing is sleep. Sleep is the first way to reduce your cortisol, because when you get too much cortisol in your body, you're going to get injuries like I did, because it sets you up right there for muscle wasting, for tearing muscle, all sorts of things besides the belly fat. So the very first thing is getting that sleep. And I like to do magnesium at night, or the calm drink. I like Bio Optimizers. They have like a really good magnesium breakthrough that helps you sleep like a baby, and also have bowel movements. I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah.
If you're having any trouble in that department, because as you start to go through perimenopause and menopause, you're not digesting as well. Your microbiome changes because of the hormones changing. So first of all, was the sleep. There's so much in that. I don't want to go on that too long.
Can I add one thing? What you just said sparked something that, ladies, you have to also be aware that what worked before is probably not working anymore. And we get so habitual in everything we do. And we're like, well, I've been eating clean for 30 years and I always eat the same thing and I'm so clean. And that doesn't mean anything. You've got to change something, because if something's not working and you've been doing it all these years, just because it's clean eating, that doesn't mean anything when it comes to age and belly fat. And sometimes you got to take a step back and say, you know what, something needs to change because something's not working. Because listen, don't throw the towel in and say, well, I eat clean, I'm exercising, I'm doing all the things.
It's not working, I might as well quit.
Right. And I think that's what holds a lot of my clients back. Then they fall off and they wonder why. So evaluate what you're doing, maybe food journal, maybe it could be broccoli that's causing you whatever. I mean, who knows if it's causing you bloating or cramping and making your belly feel bloated. So I like what you said. And sometimes it just takes a small change, but sometimes we're not even aware until we really think about what we're doing. So
I like what you're saying about the main point is you cannot expect what you did at 20, 30, 40, of course, over, to work.
Right.
If I'm 50 or 60, if your body changes, you have to change your approach. And that's why we're here today, to give you some tips on how can I change my approach, because everything I'm doing right now that used to work isn't working anymore. And so my next tip would be, and this is not going to be very popular, but give up your coffee. I know
excuse me.
Yes. Give it up.
I only drink 1 cup a day black.
Maybe I should show you my pictures of before and after of giving it up, because
I'm interested.
It spikes your cortisol 27%. That's a whole lot if you're already having cortisol spikes, and it affects your sleep and everything else.
I get it. And that's individual, though. I do want to say
it is
sometimes, individual. For me personally, Linda, like I do a half a black. What?
I hear a negotiator.
I already told you I used to drink extra.
You're negotiating.
I know.
Keep going, Kelly. Keep going.
I'm always willing to try something different, but I have to be ready. But tell us why the coffee is.
Okay, I'll get further into that. So if you really, I really had high cortisol, off the charts.
Did you have it tested? Did you know? Okay.
But it was also apparent to my coach, because you can watch the belly just blow up. It just blows up, and for no reason. It could be after you ate and you're like, what the heck? And so, and also it's your body's way of trying to protect itself if you're over exercising. That would be another thing. Do not think more is better when you're menopause and menopause. It is not. So what I was going to say about the coffee is learn other ways to get yourself energy, because it's actually taking, maybe 1 cup isn't bad, but most people can't stay with 1 cup. And they get tired and then they want more. I'm never hardly ever tired anymore since I gave up my coffee. So I learned ways to do other things that helped me, like maca powder. I like to get this green maca powder from, let me think what her name is, Anna Kabaka. I like to say her last name, but Anna Kabaka.
Yes.
She has the best maca powder because it also has things in it to help balance your hormones, and it gives you energy, but it's all in a very natural way. It's not a stimulant, and it also helps your testosterone levels, which we all have, ladies, which helps you to have estrogen and energy, and not to start losing your muscle, because as we get older, that's the other thing that slows your metabolism down, is because you're losing hormones, you're losing some muscle. So that'll be another subject we'll tackle in a minute, but back to the coffee.
And the testosterone plays critical roles in like brain health and things. And I think women's testosterone declines like by half, something crazy, before we turn 40, like between 20 and 40. So would you recommend getting your hormones, first of all, tested if you're having brain fog, if you're tired, if all these things?
100%, because the brain fog comes because you're losing all of your estrogen and it is plummeting. And some women really can barely function. It gets so bad.
I know.
So I would totally recommend going to your doctor and getting your hormone levels checked.
Okay,
now,
wait, me, doctor, just
your gynecologist
or
like
a
specialist.
homeopathic, holistic, somebody that
yes,
can get the root of your problem.
Absolutely. I am not necessarily, I personally am of the opinion that bioidenticals are better for you health-wise and with your cancer risk, but that's just my opinion. And from my experience with training thousands of women, that is my opinion. But I know people that are on synthetic that love them, and that, that's what their doctor prescribed. Personally, for myself, I learned other ways because I did the whole pellet route, the whole bioidentical route, and I went up and gained weight and put on a belly, and I never had one. And now I'm like shed, boom, because I learned other ways that I could help myself, like with the maca powder. Another thing I like to use is Purifica Mercana. I'll spell that maybe in the show notes.
Yes.
Or on the chat in a little bit, but it helps you to have estrogen. People like used to think soy would be the good thing until you found out there were so many allergens or GMOs in the soy. So it's been a game changer for me, as well as, this is going to sound bizarre, I would have never in a million years ever thought I would say this, creatine. 100%. Because once I started losing, like I could lift until the cows come home, and I wasn't getting the muscle, and I always had, great arms, great muscle. And I wasn't putting muscle. It was just like, what the heck? How much more could I lift? Right. And it also, Dave Asprey has, from Bulletproof, has like a little video clip recently on his Instagram talking all about creatine 2. What it does is it helps you flush, like get the new mitochondria going on, so your cells turn over quicker. And so it really, like, it's a game changer. I would say almost all of my women that are experiencing what I've been experiencing, I use this, it's called mitochondrial NRG by Designs for Health. And it has helped me get over my injuries. I'm doing all the things I did before, like a powerhouse, and shed body fat and get my muscle back. So I think it's a game changer. I totally would have never saw me. I would have thought, oh no, it's going to make me big,
That's a myth. That is a myth. But ladies, I also want to point out, on top of all those amazing tips, because sometimes we've got to supplement things to help us get ahead. We have to do those things as well. Plus the sleep is huge, de-stressing ourselves. But don't forget, you really can't avoid the weights, especially over 40. And don't be afraid of them. Picking up weights, even over the cardio. I mean, I just say the weight.
I think over the cardio now, you have to change the game, because the game has changed on you.
Exactly. Yes. And you just have to start. Like I said, don't be afraid to pick up some weights. Start with 5-8 pound dumbbells. But if you don't pick weights up, your body is just, think about when you're in your mid 40s, mid 50s, you're not going to have muscle tone. And you're going to be sad if you don't take care of this now. And listen, if you're 55 right now, that's okay too. You can still pick the weights up. I know many women that started in their 50s, right, Linda? I mean, it's okay.
Right. Yep.
It's just start. Don't waste another day. And you don't have to do things every day. We both have programs. I mean, I have programs online. I have programs on my website. 30-minute workouts, videos, all the stuff. You can contact either one of us for help or coaching, because that's what we do and we know how to help you. But picking up the weights is a big one, because listen, when you are taking care of your body in the right way, you're sleeping good, you're taking a little magnesium, and also don't forget to incorporate greens into your diet as well. Those can play a major role in belly fat, right? And helping.
Just having more veggies and fiber, or they're less calories.
Exactly.
You can't go wrong with plants.
Can't go wrong. Exactly. Yeah. And so I hope those tips really helped you guys. I want to jump over to just quickly how we manage our weight. So being over 45, what are some things so for me, I work very well with incorporating intermittent fasting into my life. And I learned that over the years. It's good. Let me just say this too. It's very good to always change up what you're doing. So if you've been intermittent fasting for 5 years and you're in the same place and you're frustrated, well, maybe you need to change that up, because that doesn't mean it is a great thing to do, but that doesn't mean it's going to continue to work. You might have to throw in some carb cycling a little bit, just to kind of get your body guessing differently. And maybe if you've never intermittent fasted before, incorporate it and just try it every other day. See how you feel. It's all trial and error, because our bodies really are made up so differently. We fluctuate differently. Our hormones affect us differently. But it's all a matter of trying different things in your nutrition if you feel stuck, right?
Yes, 100%. What did you just say?
I was talking about managing your weight and things that I do, such as intermittent fasting.
That's what I was getting back to, the fasting.
Yes.
So I think the intermittent fasting builds discipline, and it gives you a window and some structure. But for me, what I've noticed, and with my clients, especially if you're active, is eating. If you're on plan and you're on a plan, the regular eating every 3 to 4 hours. You may have to cut, if you really have a lot of weight to lose, you may have to cut back on how many meals you're eating at I'm going to be 60 in September. So maybe you're not doing as much. Maybe you're just not, you're not burning as much. Your body, to get yourself over the hump, you might have to cut back a little bit on how many meals you're having per day.
Absolutely.
And that goes against everything I ever learned competing. So for me to say that is big. And then another thing though, that really, really is a game changer in menopause and then in perimenopause, but it is real fasting. It boosts your metabolism.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same as cutting calories, because sometimes that can make your body think it's in starvation mode, but completely a day, your body gets a break. It gets to re-energize. It gets to process all the junk that's in there, get it out, get the toxins out, digest everything. It becomes a more well-oiled machine. So learning, there's all types of fasts. There's all types of different ways to fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I might type in some recommendations for all of the studies about it, because there's so many that back up what I'm saying today. And
oh, definitely.
When you fast, you get this euphoric feeling after you're finished. It's like you feel, the beginning is hard, but then it's like, you're like, I don't know. It's just a game changer mentally. You're in control of you instead of the food being in control of you.
Oh, love it. I love
it. And you get this clear mindedness that you didn't have before you fasted. And the other thing, going back to the weight, boom. And if you do that periodically, it also cleans out the liver, which our liver is our biggest fat burning organ. So if it's all clogged up with all the toxins and all the alcohol and all the coffee and all the snacks,
right,
it is not, and it maybe has too many hormones stuck in there. It isn't doing its job. So when you fast, you give it a chance to detox and clean out.
Exactly. And I tell people too, don't be afraid of hunger. Like people are, oh my God, I'm hungry, I have to eat. They get so worked up when you have a hunger pain. You might be thirsty. So go for the water first. I always say, don't be afraid of hunger. Your body sometimes needs a break from food, believe it or not. I mean, the cavemen did this our whole life.
Oh my gosh, my exact thoughts.
It's like, how did they survive without food every day? They had to hunt and gather for their families. Like, think about it. And they were lean and carrying wild animals on their backs and all the other running through the woods and whatever. Think about it, so don't be afraid of hunger. If you've never tried fasting, reach out to one of us. We have programs, things that can help you guys, and, be guided in your journey. Remember, it's hard doing things alone. If you need a coach, reach out to us. That's what we're here to do, is help you, because we already made all the mistakes. So you always want to go to someone that's a little ahead of you in the game, so they can teach you what not to do. Right. But no, I love it. And we can set up a few links when it comes to that, because definitely when it comes to managing your weight, if you finally get to where you want to be, it takes a little strategic planning to manage and stay there. And it just takes, we're all a work, and we have to figure it all out. So Linda,
I have an odd tip for you, but it's going to be unforgettable. You know how we think, like, I don't know, see what you said about the cavemen. They didn't have food readily accessible. I mean, we have it coming out the wazoo, out our ears. I mean, and I literally do, because we can't seem to remember that 3 kids are gone and we still shop like we are a family of 5. But I'm just saying a tip, because we don't need as much food as we're eating. Our body, if it's not processing it, if it's not digesting it, if it's not eliminating it, we're giving it too much. And so this is kind of, you'll remember it. Just Jeffrey Dahmer, all know who that is. It's a serial killer. He literally was lost in the woods for a week and he lost 25 pounds. So maybe, like, just saying
That is an odd tip, Linda.
What I'm saying is, if he can lose 25 pounds getting lost in the woods,
fasting,
maybe we need to walk away from the refrigerator more and realize we don't need to be eating everything we're eating. I know it's an odd tip, but does it stick with you, right?
Yes. Oh God, I'm going to go to bed with nightmares tonight. Oh my God. Okay, like I'm going to be praying about that. No, that's a good tip. It really is. I like that because it really just goes to show that I tell my clients and they laugh. I'm like, you won't die from skipping a meal. Like if you skip a meal, you're going to be fine. Your body's not going to go shaking. You're not going to go you're actually going to feel better and have more energy than not. It's all a mindset. It really is.
And this is not binging and purging. You don't want to use fasting as a binging and purging tool. And what I mean by that is you put on a couple pounds. Oh, I've got to fast. No, don't do it like that. But what the whole point is sometimes we can live off the fat of the land. Like really, if you have, excess body fat, we either need to digest more, eliminate more, de-stress, get more sleep, push away. Don't eat as much food. Don't eat an overwhelming amount. Maybe cut your portion sizes back.
100%. And I'm throwing a plug in for myself right now, because if people do need to lose weight and they don't know where to begin, I do work with this program and this company, and it's amazing. It works beautifully. It's not for everyone, but it really can help someone just dial it down, get some weight off, because they're eating very small throughout the day. And it trains you to learn that you don't need as much food as you thought you did. Okay. So I just had to throw that in because,
And if anybody wants any of these tips and tricks, I do have an online course called the Sweat Project. Mm-hmm. And I have not only the course, but you can get my book on Amazon to guide you through 8 weeks of eating, but changing it up throughout the whole 8 weeks so you can see what works for your body. And people lose an average of 25 pounds. So if you're doing the work. So
yes. And that's what it comes down to. If you're ready to put the work in and you want to try something different, if you're just looking for some accountability, there you go. We both have plenty to offer. You're not alone. We created these programs because we were in your situation. Okay. I'll admit I've never been obese. So I don't know what that feels like, but I have been overwhelmed with not fitting in my jeans, crying because I, had gained weight. So, not feeling comfortable in my own skin. And I had to figure out how to get comfortable. Mm-hmm. So my tip is for mindset, take discomfort in as a friend, not an enemy. Yes. Take discomfort, because things will always be very uncomfortable when you're starting something new. You don't like what you're doing. Your body and your mind are going to tell you, let's go back to what we were doing. I don't like this. But when you embrace discomfort as a friend, not an enemy, you will get further in your health journey and realize, I want to feel better. Oh my God, this discomfort is not going to last, because at some point you'll get comfortable in that. Then you move to the next thing that's uncomfortable, if that makes sense. So that's really how we'll end it. Right, Linda, is there anything else you want to add?
I just had two things that you really brought kind of to home is when, we're getting the belly fat or the weight gain, it don't look at it as this is failure. Look at it as my body is giving me signals. I need to tune into what do I need to adjust and do differently. Right. Versus how we look at it and we beat ourselves up and we're just like, so this whole mind thing, nobody needs none of that. Nobody needs that at all. Right. You don't want to go into that space. You want to pat yourself on the back for every good thing you do instead of beat yourself up for all of that. So, and then my last tip would be your body is trying to hang on to estrogen. So if you're under eating, over exercising, then your body is going to hold on to more belly fat because it's under stress.
and also because fat holds the estrogen. So your body's just trying to hang on to estrogen. So if you want your body to hang on to estrogen, start giving your more good fats in your diet. And that's a game changer as well, because you'll be more satisfied and you hold on to less fat.
And those good fats, olive oil, avocado oil, avocados, some nuts, not the whole bag, but
that's like your whole daily caloric usage.
Please, we're not telling you to go eat a whole bag of nuts, but having a few nuts are very satisfying as long as you can walk away.
I've eaten too many.
Have a little, definitely. But have a little bit. I even find if you guys are near any kind of Wegmans, they have like a light cocoa dusted cashew. They're so satisfying. I have like 7. Like I don't count them, but I know it's around there. And I'm like so happy. It, boosts me, my serotonin I get all like, oh, this is such a treat. And I'm full. I drink some water and there you go. Move on. You don't have to sit and eat the whole bag. Okay. So healthy fats are huge to add to your, whatever your regimen is. It is a game changer. So I love that. But does anyone have any questions on Facebook or anywhere that we can answer? Because this was awesome. And I hope a lot of women really feel great after listening to this. And we could do it again in a couple of weeks.
I don't know why. Maybe people are not at their computer. Okay. I'm sure we'll get questions.
Yes. Any question, if you watch the replay, that's fine. But thank you all for tuning in. And if you have questions, reach out to me or Linda on social, Facebook or Instagram, right?
Yeah. And my website is sisterhoodofsweat.com. And what is yours, Kelly?
KellyTyen.com.
And this on Instagram, I'm at Sisterhood of Sweat, and you are at Kelly Tyen.
Yes, on Facebook.
And Kelly with an E.
Kelley.
Yeah.
Yes. And thank you though for tuning in. Thank you, Linda. This was awesome. I'm always loving sharing our tips and things that work for us to help and inspire other people.
Oh my gosh, I could go on tips about this kind of thing for days because it's my sweet spot and it's what the women that I work with. So if you guys need any help or you have any questions we did not answer, we will definitely answer in the chat on Facebook. Make sure to let us know how you liked this episode, how you enjoyed the tips, and what works for you. If you have any tips. Thanks, everybody. And thanks, Kelly, for coming on today. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
And I hope that all of our listeners have enjoyed this podcast. And if you guys have really enjoyed this, please review us in iTunes and also share this episode with your friends and your loved ones. Thanks again for listening to the Sisterhood of Sweat.